with the pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. First up, we have, I assume we take these as two different public hearings. Is that correct?
Yes,
So you would.
I'm voting yes.
Yes, open and close each one.
Okay. The whole 60-second thing, or is it?
I'll be honest with you, I never understood the survey of the room and whether or not people have a fair opportunity to present. But if there's no one that wishes to present, it's still a good public hearing if we don't go a full 61 seconds.
Okay, I appreciate that.
If you want to go to
No,
61
no, no, no,
seconds.
no, I'm good. I'm good. I just want to make sure we were all set. So we'll start off with the 2026 budget public hearing. We'll open it for public comment. Ten to 15 seconds. Anyone? Okay. Therefore, I believe the public hearing is closed. Next up, we will do the public hearing for the 2026 capital improvement plan. Anybody have any public comment on that? Okay, public hearing is closed. We will move on to consent agenda, which is events of the the August 19th meeting and the September 9th budget workshop, as well as the township credit card statements. Anybody have anything you want removed or changed from the consent agenda?
I just want to add one thing if I can. The top of the September 9th meetings had the August 19th date still. The copy you're going to sign has been changed to reflect.
Okay.
I'll make the motion that we adopt the consent agenda with the mentioned edits.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. The 19th. This is the. Okay. First up, we have. I didn't call it up. I'm just kidding. Department head reports. I was just watching, you were there. We'll start off with township assistance.
Township assistants has been busier, or just as busy as always. We had a total of 51 clients over the month of August. And you can see all the financial details that are there. Any questions about township assistants?
So just one, as we're getting now closer to the end of the year and that kind of thing, is there, I know the transportation thing kind of threw the budget off, but if you look at the line items, it looks like we may be over on some of those. Is there gonna be excess? Or is that-
We usually slow down in November and December for whatever reasons. So we're hoping we're still going to be good. We'll reevaluate.
Okay.
Probably come October, so that we can get time if we need to do an additional appropriation.
Because if you look at the total kind of year to date, it looks like it's tracking that most of it'll be used.
Yeah.
But if you look at those individual of housing and public utility, it kind of is a little bit disproportionate. So.
And that's one of the conversations that Ashley and I have had already, because at the end of the year, it used to be, we had a good amount of money that was left over in the township assistance budget, and we started partnering up with other entities around our area that met that mission. The conversations we're having here within the last couple of weeks have been, since we have such a demand for township assistance now,
Right.
Are we going to be in a situation again where we aren't going to be able to help some of them as much as they've grown to kind of expect before? And we don't know that answer yet, but as we dive into
And that's why I asked, I was
October,
kind of
that's
put it on
what
the
we're
radar too. So.
Yeah. And when we have cash in there that can appropriate if need be for this or anything else you guys deem appropriate.
That's all I got. Sorry. Human resources. I gave you a hard time tonight.
I know.
Fell
and then
asleep at the
just-
wheel.
Just sit there. For the month of August, we had, one paramedic termination and about 75 camp counselors. That's really just removing them from the books at the end of the season. We started removing, the pool staff as well, so you'll see those numbers in September, jump up kind of high again, in termination, resignations, and retirements. And then we've been hiring about, in August, we hired about 10 extended care counselors, just to fill in spots where needed and as they're growing, add those in. Any questions about the human resources reports? The rest is just kind of data.
Good. That's any question? Okay, next up, parks.
All right. For the month of August, we had phenomenal weather at the pool. We were actually able to hit capacity a couple times over the weekends, which never happens to us in August. It always rains every weekend. So we were very fortunate. We ended the year exceeding our goal and then actually spending less than we had originally anticipated, which was great. And I will give you those final numbers at our next board meeting since we have a little bit of September in there too. Something that we did this year was in August, we played around with a few things. We did water aerobics, which was a huge hit. We also tried snorkeling, and we did scuba diving. And then we also did a couple other, it was really neat. We did a snorkeling program where our programmers actually made coral reef out of different bottles. And so I was joking around that there was plastic in the ocean, but it was really neat. It actually looked like a real coral reef. And so it was something that we want to continue to do and expand on. But the exercising at Murphy was really great. People really caught on to that. We plan to do that during the season next year as well. And then at the Nature Center, you'll see a lot of new things at the Nature Center. I think it's really important that each year we change a lot of the exhibits, update them, make them a little bit fresh, and teach new things. So you'll see a lot of new educational exhibits at the Nature Center right now. And then we must have the largest iguana in the state of Indiana because that thing just keeps growing. It's at 7 foot now, so we are expanding his enclosure again. And so he just keeps growing. So that is what we're working on right now at the Nature Center is expanding his enclosure. Fortunately, we kept his old enclosure, so I'm able to use both of them to make a bigger one, and it'll be much more cost effective this time. For programs, we are working on Ghosts and Goblins. We already have 25 vendors signed up, which is great. We have our marketing going out for that, and our staff is going around to different businesses and passing out flyers. And so we're continuing to get new vendors signed up each day and more sponsors each day as well. Our craft fair, we have already opened that up. It sold out in 2 hours. So we have a waiting list. It's about 15 people long. And so that's always a big hit. And so we're excited about the craft fair this year. The big project that we've been working on in August is we are doing the Upper Park playground renovation. So you may have seen on our social media, we are closing the playground on the 29th in preparation to remove the equipment. It's being installed starting October 13th. And then we will be working on that. We're hoping to be able to open at the end of November, but we'll keep everyone updated and we will let everyone know when that opens again. But we're really excited. We're expanding the footprint. We're making it more inclusive for the community. So we're excited to unveil that. For youth services, we have fall camp has already started. The nice thing about Explorer Extended Care this year is our afternoon numbers just keep expanding and expanding. So that's why you see the number of Explorer Extended Care staff going up because we're going to continue to hire for that. As you can see, Cedar just blows it out of the water. I don't know whatever it is, but they are about 25 kids above every other school. And it's continuing to grow. So we're really excited about that. This has been the best year so far. And so those numbers are continuing to grow. And then as far as our revenue report goes, we are right on track. We are 117% for Murphy, and then we are 81% to our overall goal. Do you guys have any questions for me? Thank you.
Thank you. Next, fire.
Yeah, right. I'll take the old one.
All
All right.
5 minutes.
So they have peanuts on the line, so keep that in mind. First off, thanks to the members and thanks to Chief Alcorn for being present. Just some reiteration and one for them to support the budget and the things that are going on here. Appreciate that. Chief Alcorn here just as a symbol of support on where we're heading and where they're heading as a department. We'll go over some of that. A lot of the report and the pages in this are going to be covered in this first part of the chief's report. Then we'll reference a couple of maps that are sitting on your table just for your visual. So one, we began planning the onboarding of 12 new hires from the existing list. They came and did the ladder climb. That list has already been approved by the Merit Commission. What I need to do now is have them, the last group has now done the ladder climb. They'll submit to me the names. We're having that meeting on Monday, and we'll move forward with the rest of their stuff for their sites and their physicals and getting them into the 77 funds. The slated start date for them is December 15th. That way we can get that moving. Along with the start date for them, Danville's also doing a hiring list. They're looking at bringing on 6. So their training division's been meeting with ours. We've been trying to figure out how we can make it work. We plan on having fire school together with them and inviting their members into our facilities for their education. 12 people and there's 6 will be 18. It'll be instructor intense. Can you even answer that? Hang on. So that'll be a big class, but we already had a little practice with the 17 we brought in, how that's going to work, right? Again, even though there's 12 in this and that's what we need, we're still going to move forward with having the standards, making sure we're holding people accountable. Not all 17 made it through the last class. It's always the hopes that people make it through, but if they don't meet the standard, it is what it is. Along with that, we've started doing the merit the lateral transfer list. We had a great response to that. That'll be approved Monday, and we also have a medic hiring list that we're going to establish as well. And that'll be the first time we've done that since they've been put in the merit system that we adopted. So yeah, pretty excited about all those things going on. Outside of hiring our probationary firefighters, some of which are present today, at least 2, maybe 3, at least 2 of you. They crossed over to their 1 year, so they're regular members now. So just make some rookies, right? They still look the little guys, but no, they got to cross that, and that's a big. Besides your 20-year point, when you reach your vesting into the retirement fund, crossing that probationary year is a big relief to a lot of people. So congratulations to them. There's a few pictures in there for you guys to look at as far as that goes. Internally, we had a meeting with the HRH executive staff and docs concerning the mobile integrated health. And then we also attended the county council meeting, continued budget talks, navigating the future under SB1. With that said, one, we look at MIH, these two things coupled together, as a little bit of a supplement to some of the impacts and the budget impacts of SB1, because it starts creating a revenue stream. We don't know what that revenue stream is. We don't know if it's just going to start with the one hospital as a pilot or if it's going to filter into other hospitals. So that would dictate how big or how much revenue that might be. We call it a pilot program because they've started up on the north side of Carmel, Westfield. Westfield's actually hired their own mobile integrated health person in the office. We're going to do this with overtime for the paramedics. A little bit of an opportunity, see what it looks like, but the reimbursement versus the expense will outweigh each other. So we're pretty excited about that. Now the ER docs are working with Chief Weiniger, and they're establishing what that's going to look like so we can represent it to the executive staff. Along with SB1 and the potential shortcomings you heard from Jeff Peters when he was here, the rhetoric around it is starting to move toward a potential later implementation date. I'm starting to hear 2030, 2031, kick the can down the road. That's come out a little bit. But regardless, we still have to prepare. And that preparing is a little bit of or is exactly what the maps that you have in front of you are about. And I wrote now and proposed. Chief Alcorn and I have talked recently, and they've secured an owner's rep. And the next step is moving toward securing an architect for your design phase.
That's correct.
So in that, I've stood up here before and said, I don't think they're going to start on this. They got the property, but I don't see it being built anytime soon. And I want to recant that, and I want to do it publicly with him here, but also make sure you all understand that as we talk about deployment of forces and appropriate placing in firehouses, Right now, 144s runs into Brownsburg a lot on that south edge. We've had some communication back and forth between his staff and ours on how that affects us operationally. They've tried to take back some of that territory, but it leads to longer response times. And at that time, there was a lot of construction around Station 1. They had a hard time parking their own rigs in their station, let alone responding to the south area, right? Their response to the south area is much like what we're dealing with at 5s. So as he navigated their political environment to get 4s approved, that's all started moving. That's all started moving forward. So they have that house. That house will allow them to take back that south area that 4s runs into a lot. So they'll be first doing their own area, which will push 4s back into us. And if you look at the now map, as it overlaps in that circle where Station 4 is there at the northernmost point of Washington Township, there's very little that they don't overlap with 1s and 2s where it already sits. And then, so if we push 2 south in the proposed map, it creates a nice overlap with Wayne Township, a nice overlap with Plainfield at the bottom. It closes in the gap that you see on the south area on the now map. And it creates a desirable overlap between 1s, 4s, proposed 134 and proposed 142's move. They're hoping to break ground in Brownsburg sometime first, second quarter of next year, which is about the same time Chief Phipps and I talked about trying to get things designed and secured and move through the bond process, which is a little aggressive, but get that done and also start our process of building Station 2 on the secured ground. I just want you guys to look at it and digest it for future conversation. I'm not asking for anything, but I want you to understand Brownsburg is moving, and as they move forward, that starts taking their area back, and now we're just going to have a lot of redundancy up there based on current placement, current location. With the status of Station 2, if we continue to wait, Dr. Wyndham's here with the schools, and you know, he's going through the referendum and the things that he's dealing with. If they do put SB1 in earlier, some of our building, all of our building over time will be forced right into referendum. So my opinion is still, let's go while we know the environment. We know where we're heading. I've given you guys the documentation from Peters. So our next steps for us, Chief Phipps and I are going to move forward with an RFP for architecture, because our current architect came back at about $500,000 to build a very similar firehouse to something we already have. We're just asking to build on a bay. So it was a little expensive, and both of us were a little sticker shocked at that. Whenever you have your plans already, we can take those, see what other architects are out there, respond to the RFP, and try to look for something that should be much more reasonable than $500,000. So I want to get into that high horse for a moment, but I also want to thank Chief Alcorn for coming, because he and I've had some good conversations lately with that, and our deployment of force is a big deal. So he knows what our plans have been for a while, and now he's moving on his. So I want to throw that on your radar, because I'm going to keep it there pretty strongly until I get a hard no. Fire training, I won't go through right now. You guys can read through that. Chief Huff does a great job telling his story and the things he does. The mutual aid and the departments that come in, and the outside training that our people pursue. EMS, Stephanie, Chief Weininger keeps that moving without fail, and she stays on top of everything she's doing. Both her and Chief Huff have been a great dynamic duo. I want to move over to fire investigations. As you look at this, you know, they're staying status quo with the inspections and the drone calls and the things that they're doing. We had a pretty successful and organized drone call out to Danville. Their ops chief was pretty complimentary of Levi coming and taking charge, how they took charge of the air sector and how they operated together to help with the search that happened out there. But more importantly, our bullet points 3 and 4, and that division hosted a UAV drone training program with the FAA that was attended by Brownsburg, Plainfield, and Greencastle. We continue to open this place up, and we're continuing talks with the state about us becoming part of their certified training sites and what that looks like. We'll have to get some mutual aid agreements drawn up, so I'll be hitting Bellamy up for those. We'll have to make sure we have all the proper paperwork for liability in place, but we're already creating our department as a destination place to share resources and training. And Levi, and I've told you guys this before, but he has taken this division and ran with it, and he isn't losing energy on it, and I appreciate him with that. The 4th bullet point, the division conducted NFPA 1033 practical skills evaluation for their shift investigators. So investigations is starting to have more requirements to maintain their certifications. So Levi's been proactive putting those classes on here. He's an instructor too. He can start putting those on and creating his own trainings and so on and so forth. But that brought in Pittsboro, Whitestown, White River, Township, Bargersville, and also the FAA at one point. That was up on the point above. Anyway, so we've had the FAA, we've had Brownsburg, Plainfield, Greencastle, White River, Whitestown, Bargersville, Pittsburgh, everybody involved in trainings here under investigations, and that's huge for our community. And huge for our people reaching out and not being afraid to collaborate with people around us or being afraid of getting new ideas from everyone else. So I appreciate their sharing, and I appreciate the fact they're keeping the progression going in the prevention department. We're not burning up the skyline, but when it happens, you have surprises like happened today in Brownsburg. You guys had a little bit of fun up there on a fire, which is looking like it might. But there's a lot of facets, a lot of moving parts in the fire that happened up there today, and Levi went up there to work with them, assist and learn and do what he could with Brownsburg investigation units. Pub Ed, Courtney's still staying the path on Pub Ed, reaching out. We're getting a lot of lives touched. We have a smoke detector blitz coming up on Monday. Is it? I sent that out there to you guys. So we're going to be heading out to a community and hitting about 45 homes on a smoke detector blitz. So there'll be a couple hundred battery changes on smoke detectors, and that's a thing we do every year with the communities. Our staff will be out there as available, and our units will be out walking through the neighborhood and taking care of them and their step ladders and talking to some of our residents. So again, those are big things on Pub Ed. They were at Kroger a little bit today before the meeting. They had a successful food drive out there. So again, as she keeps pushing, I know her next goal is to start getting into different age groups outside of the preschools and getting into the grade schools, but we'll start working with Dr. Wyndham and his staff on how we're going to work that out and make it happen and get into the high schools. Some of the pictures you guys have are just for your enjoyment. They're just the events that I've talked about. Some of them been on social media. Try to keep up with the parks. All right, any questions? Questions, concerns, or scared? That's our billing stuff. I let you guys digest that. Chief Weiniger's already done our training there, but again, where we're heading with that's going to supplement our budget, probably $2.5 million moving forward. And I think they've done a pretty good job on collections and all that. And now we have our first series of bills going to debt collections since they've taken over. So now we'll have both of those working side by side and ramping up together. So that number will start increasing at an increasing rate over the next few months. Anything?
Anybody have any questions? No. Okay, thank you.
You lose. It was less than 30 minutes. I'm good with that.
It hasn't been adjourned yet.
Okay. Right. Back to electronic. What's next? Oh, the old business, WCCD condemnation.
So before I jump into that one, I do want to point out that as I was putting together the agenda, I told Ashley there was something else that I wanted to talk about, and for the life of me, I couldn't remember it. Steve brought it up to me before the meeting started, but I was going to update the board publicly on the SBOA State Board of Accounts audit that we had. I failed to put that on the agenda today, so I will we'll have to wait with anticipation to hear about it next month. But it is posted publicly on the State Board of Accounts website, so the public does have access to review that. We will I'll make sure that gets put on the agenda for next month, though. So thank you, Steve, for the reminder. I knew it was something and couldn't come up with it myself. So with that, on the West Central Conservancy condemnation, at our last meeting, I talked about the fact that we had a court date scheduled the following morning after our previous meeting. I am happy to report that Legal and I were at the courthouse, and just before court went into session, we had an opportunity to speak with West Central Conservancy's representative as well as their attorney out in the hallway, and we were able to finally come to an amicable agreement that satisfied their need for the property as well as our need for access to our property, future access to our property, as well as what we believe to be fair value for the property that we were ready to sell to them at really at that point. So happy to say that they were able to go in front of the judge, explain to him that, hey, we have a verbal agreement. We're going to get this put down on paper. That has since happened, and the transfer of property for their utility easement as is done and over with at this point. So happy that we were able to come to the amicable agreement and finally move on from that.
Good. Okay, new business, resolution for the 2026 capital improvement plan.
This plan was presented at the last meeting. This is just officially, after the public hearing that was held earlier, this is just official signing this into resolution so that we can get it submitted to be in compliance with the new law. Where the capital improvement plan stands now, we will not need to transfer any money into the roads fund for this year. So again, we'll have to redo this every year, and then we'll go from there as to what needs to be moved into that roads fund.
Okay.
Any questions? I'll put a copy of it in your packet again in case you wanted to see it again.
Any questions? Nope. Okay, you just need a motion to approve.
Let's see, this is resolution 09-25-25-01 regarding the 2025 capital improvement plan.
Let me see.
It is a 25 plan that starts in 26, so it's 25, it covers 26, 27, 28.
Well, I'm looking at
It's a 3-year
agenda.
plan. Yeah, yeah, it starts in 26, but we're adopting it in 25 to start
Okay.
next year. A little confusing, yeah.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next up, I'm going to say ties to this. Resolution 09-2525-02, resolution establishing road and infrastructure fund.
So this is just establishing that road and infrastructure fund that we have to establish according to the new laws that have passed. Again, we're not going to, we won't have to transfer anything over with the capital improvement plan in place for this year. But we're just establishing it so that it's done and over with. We don't have to worry about that.
Any questions?
I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution 09-2525-02, establishing the road and infrastructure fund.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, next up is resolution 09-2525-03, declaration of support for the Avon Community School Corporation referendum renewal.
As you may have seen online, Avon Community School Corporation is going for the renewal of their referendum. Dr. Wyndham is here with us today, not only to obviously ask for us to approve our resolution today, but also to answer any questions that the board may have. But the school corporation is asking for the support of Washington Township for the referendum renewal. I believe we are in my opinion, an important, this would be an important show of support in the fact that the Washington Township boundaries, all the constituents that we serve are the exact same constituents that the school corporation serves. And so I think us showing our support for the school corporation's referendum would be a big sign to the community that we are in this working together to make sure that our community does have the support and the funds that they need to provide all of the amenities and educational opportunities that the children here in our area deserve. So with that, this resolution is here for the Township Board's consideration. And let you go from there.
Any questions? Do you want to say anything? You're welcome to.
Mr. Miller summarized it very well. This is a renewal. The community supported a referendum in 2018 that was focused on reducing class sizes, more competitive teacher compensation, and more opportunities and supports for our students. So through that referendum, today we have 173 positions in our district that did not exist before that referendum. But state law says the school district has to go back to their taxpayers within an 8-year period and ask that that be renewed to continue. So that's the process we're going through right now. The maximum rate that was approved in 2018 was 35 cents. The school board voted for this renewal to be a 2-cent decrease, so a maximum tax rate of 33 cents. As we looked ahead with our financial advisors, again, as has been mentioned, trying to figure out with Senate Bill 1 and all the changing landscape in local property taxes. But really appreciate Mr. Miller putting this on the agenda and bringing this before you.
Questions?
Thoughts?
What?
Thoughts?
Thoughts? Well, I guess the one thing in terms of talking to other elected officials and the challenges we face, given the environment, legislative environment, to fund our operations and everything, it's a big challenge. And oftentimes it's difficult to communicate to the public and explain some of the devil in the details about everything. So I think it's just important, as Trustee Miller was saying, is that we kind of show our support and acknowledge those difficulties and challenges and acknowledge their success so far with what they've been doing and offer our support going forward.
I agree. Well put.
Agreed.
Okay.
I move that we adopt resolution 09-2525, 03, declaration of support for the ACSC referendum renewal.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, last up, any public comment or wishes to be heard? Okay, thank you, Dr. Whitman, for being here. Thank you, Chief Alcorn, for being here as well. It shows, I think, certainly good community collaboration and whatnot, which I think is huge for the success of all this to work with some of the complexities that we face on a daily basis. So I appreciate it. Okay, anybody else have anything?
Nope.
Motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned at 3:32.
That was simple.